Welcome to She Rebel Radio, the podcast for high-performing women leaders who want to unlearn conventional rules, leave prestigious careers, and launch businesses of significance. Each week, She Rebel Radio brings you insights and advice from women entrepreneurs who transformed their prestige prisons into daring entrepreneurial success stories. Now, here is your host, Lulu Nins.
Welcome to She Rebel Radio episode 4. I'm really looking forward to diving into the content of this episode, where I'm going to share with you 3 things you need to keep in mind when pricing your services with integrity. And to kick it off, we are going to look at why integrity is so important and what happens when you don't have it when you're pricing your services. And then I'm going to share with you what I call the Yammer Triangle, which are 3 questions you need to ask yourself when packaging and pricing your services. Now, why do I call it the Yammer Triangle? Those of you that are in the She Rebel Club group on Facebook, those of you that follow me, know I'm massively into my yoga. I practice yoga religiously for the last 4 years, but I also bring a lot of the other principles into my life, my business, and everything that I do. Because those of you that also practice yoga will know it's so much more than an exercise class. And Yama is the first limb of yoga, and it means ethical standards and integrity. So the Yammer Triangle is kind of the integrity triangle for you when you're pricing your services. So why is integrity so important and what does it mean? Of course, we know what it means on the surface level. It's the quality of being honest and having strong principles. And honesty is so important to me. It's a huge value of mine. I will be honest above all else. It has always got me into trouble, but it has always been a massive gift as well. And certainly as a defense lawyer and also as a coach as well, is telling people how it is and living via strong moral principles. It's super, super important. And I vaguely remember from school that part of our high school mission statement had the word integrity in. And I remember really finding out what the word meant and really going, okay, I like that. Maybe this school isn't as bad as I thought. Not that I hated it, but I probably didn't love school. It was always super academic, but I probably didn't love it as much as other people. But yeah, I remember really finding out what that word meant and I've carried that integrity through my life and as a huge value in everything that I do on a professional level and on a personal level. So how can we bring in integrity into your business? It's really important also to look at the second meaning of integrity, which is the one that is deeper and also really interesting. And it's one that perhaps without this, perhaps there's a difficulty in being honest and having a strong moral principle. And the second meaning is the state of being whole and undivided. The state of being whole and undivided, which those of you that practice yoga and understand yoga will know that's what yoga is all about. Those of you that have worked with me, done any of my courses, my mastermind, in my group, followed me, will know that I talk about the masculine and feminine principles a lot. I have a course called the 24 Principles of Feminine Success, which is all about how we can invite the feminine back in to join the masculine principles that we lead from, particularly successful corporate women with those prestigious careers, and how important it is to invite the feminine back in to lead from a place of whole and undivided, integral place. So I'm really, really looking forward to sharing this content with you. And I know that pricing your packages and services is a really, really difficult one because you frequently ask me that question. And I really wanted to put something amazing together for you to really go and consider, because it's really, really destructive if our services are priced outside of integrity. There are 3 things that tend to happen when you're pricing your services out of integrity, and that is out of wholeness and being divided and your energy scattered on your pricing. And these 3 things happen whether you've overpriced or whether you've underpriced. all three of them can happen. And they are: one, you don't sell. You don't sell whether you've overpriced or underpriced. Either way, you're out of alignment, and you tend to either not sell at all or you don't sell very much. Secondly, you do sell and you end up overworking and feeling resentful. And when you end up overworking and feeling resentful, what then happens is you go back to the first one, which is you start not selling again because you don't want the overworking and the resenting. And the third one, and probably the most destructive of all in terms of your reputation for your business and building on what you are starting and you feeling shit about yourself, let's be honest, is dissatisfied clients. Dissatisfied clients and even complaints if you are out of integrity with your pricing. So it's really important, I'm not trying to put fear into you here, that you get this right. And you can do that by using these three principles of the Yammer Triangle and the three questions that I'm going to put to you for you to consider when packaging and pricing your services. So the first one, the first question, the point of the triangle, we can call this the top point of the triangle, is: am I in integrity to my business? This is being in integrity to your business. And under this umbrella, this is about sharing your expertise and your energy rather than your time. So selling your energy and your expertise rather than your time. I spent 11 years as a criminal defense lawyer, and lawyers sell their time. They also sell their expertise and energy. They just don't realize it most of the time. Traditionally, law firms have broken things down to 6-minute units. You have 10 units in an hour. So there's lots of training and conditioning around selling your time. You are salaried, so you are selling your time to the firm that you're working with, etc. And there have been changes around that, but the conditioning is still there, and there is a reluctance to sell expertise and energy, but that's what you have to do if you are going to be in integrity with your business. Now, there is a story about Picasso. I'm a massive fan of surrealist art, and somebody asked him when he was sitting in a cafe to draw a picture on a napkin for him or her. So Picasso did that, and then he said that will be X amount of money. And the person responded saying, "Oh, that's not fair. That only took you 2 minutes." And he said, "You're wrong. That took me an entire lifetime." And what an answer that is. And what I'm going to put to you is the business that you have left or are leaving your prestigious position to do something more meaningful. The service that you are offering has taken you a whole lifetime of wisdom, of experience, of knowledge and investments in your education to create what it is that you're creating and what it is that you're packaging and selling. And if it's not embodying all of that, there's a hint there. You're not in integrity with your business if you're not wrapping up everything and bringing all of you, that being whole and unified and undivided to you to the table, because that's what you should be doing. A woman coming from your kind of background needs to be bringing all of that in an amazing package and serving people at the highest level that you are capable and able of doing. And that is how you can really create a business with integrity and price your services in integrity with that business. So how powerful is that of a shift for you already? So that is at the top of the Yammer integrity triangle. So now we're going to go down into the left hand corner of the triangle. I'm hoping you're visualizing this. I like to do a little bit of visualization sometimes, so it really stays with you. And this is being in integrity to yourself. So now I'm really going to ask you to look at yourself on a personal level. So this is you outside of the business, you on a personal level. What do you need? Underlined, emboldened, hashtag needs. What are your basic needs that the business that you are creating, developing, running at the moment, what are they and how do they need to be covered? And if you don't know the answer to that question, I'm talking about basic mortgage payments, electricity, gas in the house, petrol in your car, gas if you're in the US. I know you say gas for your car. I'm going to confuse my UK followers though if I say that. But what are your basic needs? So going through your last 3 months or your last 6 months of statements and working out what your basic needs are, and then looking at the business model you have and how your business is going to meet your personal needs. That is being in integrity to yourself. Which, by the way, if you're not in integrity to yourself, you're not in integrity to your clients either, which is why that comes before the next one, which is integrity to your clients. But you have to be in integrity to yourself first. And you have to meet your basic needs. Otherwise, you've got a shitty old energy leak all over the place, which is not going to help you, A, be in integrity to your business and sell that energy. No one wants to buy leaky energy. And secondly, it's going to keep you out of integrity to your clients because you're running ragged. And there's the resentment that we have looked at already. So, for example, the way you can do this is if you are selling a product or a service that is, £40 per hour. So you're still selling your time, you're doing it for £40 per hour, and you need £4,000, £4,000, $4,000, whatever it is, per month. Then you need to sell 100 of those hours. 25 hours a week. You may think that's not too bad. I've already touched on the time piece here. But if you are selling those 100 hours to 100 different people, because they're people that are having one-off sessions with you, you are going to end up exhausted. You are going to end up overworking and feeling resentful. You're going to end up not selling because even the effort to sell one of those hours is going to take a significant amount of time, and then you've got to sell 99 more. You've got 99 problems, and the 99 problems are the fact that you're out of integrity with yourself and your basic needs, and that is not going to support you in creating a meaningful business and a business of significance impacting people that I know you want to do. So you really have to start looking at why you're not in integrity with yourself and how you can be in integrity with yourself. Super, super important. Such big takeaways, ladies, with this. Number 3, I've touched on it already, is the right-hand side of the triangle is being in integrity to your clients. So being in integrity to your clients. And the way that you do this is to manage expectations, to set those expectations, and then to over-deliver, but to over-deliver within reason. So often what we see happen is people overcharge and underdeliver, and that's where you get the dissatisfied clients complaining, not wanting to work with you again, not recommending you, they're feeling resentful, right? Or you get the undercharging and over-delivering, which it ends up you're overworking and you're feeling resentful. And sometimes what we can have here as well, you are meeting some of your not so healthy needs in needing to mother, needing to be the rescuer, needing to be needed by others, and all of that kind of jazz, which just again is, you can see how delicate this integrity balance is when you price your services. Money is energy. So it's really when you're acting in integrity and using that integrity within the energy, that's when everything comes into balance. Everything is whole and undivided. Everything has an undercurrent of ethical standards, being honest, strong moral principles, and everyone feels fucking great about it, I might add. So it's really important. So a little example of this, again, I always use my background as a lawyer because these are skills that I have learnt not just within my business, that I have used over the many, many years that I have sold and provided a service to human beings. And setting their expectations is key. Setting the minimum standards of what they can expect and trying to do better is something that I used to do as a lawyer all the time, which is why I very, very rarely got a dissatisfied client or complaint. Very, very rare, because I set that minimum standard. And again, I do that as a coach in my service-based business by telling people the very minimum of what they can expect and what they will receive from me as part of my program. So I might talk about X amount of sessions, group sessions, unlimited email. This is the amount of self-study that you get. These are the events that you get invited to. So that I'm setting all the expectations and then I'm over-delivering on the results, going above and beyond. And women in particular value this massively. So when I was a defence lawyer, the way that this would work was I would tell somebody their absolute worst case scenario. Here's the worst case scenario of what's going to happen to you. If you get convicted of this offence, you are looking at 8 years in prison. But what I'm going to do is try and do better for you. But I always did it that way round, rather than telling them there was nothing to worry about and they were going to get a suspended sentence and everything was going to be fine, and then they end up getting locked up for 8 years. You can imagine the dissatisfaction and complaint that would be received had I said, hey, there's nothing to worry about here, rather than, look, this is the worst that can happen. I'm going to try and do better for you here. So flipping that in my coaching business is, here's the minimum that you're going to get from me. You are absolutely going to receive all this stuff, and then there's going to be an over delivery on that service, which keeps me in massive integrity to my clients. But check in here, there's not a massive over delivery where I am ending up overworking and resentful, because actually that over delivery has nothing particularly to do with extra time. It has to do with results. It has to do with value. It has to do with high level service. It has to do with empathizing. It has to do with caring and getting the results that they are looking for. So, to sum up, integrity, the quality of being honest, having a strong moral principle, with being whole and undivided. What happens when we price our services out of integrity? You don't sell, or you do sell and you end up overworking and resentful, or worse, you end up with dissatisfied clients and clients who are complaining. You need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Am I in integrity to my business? Am I in integrity to myself? And am I in integrity to my clients? I would love to hear your takeaways from these 3 questions and how that has impacted on how you're going to price and package your services. So do join us in the She Rebel Club if you are not there already, and do hop in, do share with the community. I would love to have you, and if I can support you in another way in terms of on one-to-one as part of my mastermind Rebel Heart Club mastermind program, then do not hesitate to reach out at any time and tell me where you're at, and I will see how I can help. So wishing you the best of luck in pricing your services and doing it with the key buzzword, that's with integrity.
Thanks for listening to She Rebel Radio, the podcast for high-performing women leaders who want to unlearn conventional rules, leave prestigious careers, and launch businesses of significance. She Rebel Radio is executive produced and hosted by women's advocate and coach Lulu Mins. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss another episode. You can find Lulu Mins on Facebook and LinkedIn at Lulu Mins, and on Instagram at LuluMins_biz. Until next week, keep rebelling against the rules and designing success your way.